Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari. Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari. Yashoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana. Yashoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari. Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari. Yashoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana. Yashoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivijakacharya Asto Tarasutta Sri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivijakacharya Asto Tarasutta Sri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai. Sri Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prayam Sikavo Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopanai Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschata Desha Tarine. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Room temperature is okay. So, good morning. Thank you for coming.
Hare Krishna. So today we are very fortunate that we have with us His Grace Jeevanand Prabhuji. So I'd like to briefly introduce Prabhuji. Prabhuji is a devoted disciple of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. So Prabhuji had come in touch with Krishna consciousness in 1973, and in 1975 he had the great fortune of personally meeting Srila Prabhupada in a Rath Yatra, and in 1977 he received his Diksha from Srila Prabhupada at New Mayapur. From 1979 to 2005, Prabhuji was based in Delhi, and he was preaching and doing community development over there. In 2005, he took to Vanaprastha life, and in 2006, he took part in a lot of preaching efforts in Texas, and for nearly 10 years, from approximately 2008 to 15, he lived and traveled in a van, distributing Krishna consciousness across college campuses, communities. In 2015, he established his base in Tucson, Arizona, while continuing to travel across United States, both East and West coasts. And later on, recognizing his deep realization, integrity, guidance, he was appointed as a spiritual master by the GBC. So Prabhuji is also an initiating Diksha Guru, and today we are very fortunate to have his association. We'd like to welcome him to Shri Shri Radha Kunja Bihari temple by 3 times loudly chanting Haribo!
Haribo! Haribo! Come on, you can do better than that. Haribo! 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 Okay, there you go. That's good. So thank you for having me here as your guest. I'm honored to be amongst you. Please be patient with me. Sometimes I forget, so sometimes it takes me a minute to remember the word I'm trying to say, so that may be annoying to you, but it's the price of getting old. So today we're going to speak in the beautiful Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 13, verses 1 through 5. And stop at the end. We're going to have any questions, but after I read the purport, feel free to stop me at any time if you hear something or if you think of something that you would like to ask. Okay? So which verse are we going to chant together? First one? Okay. Sri Narada Uvacha Kalpastvevam Parijaya Kalpastvevam Parivrajya Devamatra Vasastita Gramika Gratra Vidina Nipa Nirapekshas Charen Mahim Sri Narada Uvacha Kalpastvevam Parivrajaya Deha matra vasishitaha Gramaika ratravidhina Nirapekshas charin mahim Sri Narada Uvacha Kalpastu evam paribrajya Deha matra visheshita Gramaika ratravidhina Nirapekshas charin mahim Anyone else? Sri Narada Sri Narada Muni said, Kalpaha, a person who is competent to undergo the austerities of sannyas, the renounced order of life. The renounced order of life. Or to prosecute studies in traditional knowledge. But evam, in this way, as described previously. Paribrajya, fully understanding his spiritual identity, and thus traveling from one place to another. Dehamatra, keeping only the body. Avasheshitaha, at last. Grama, in a village. Eka, one only. Ratra, of passing a night. Vidhina, in the process. Nirapekshaha, without dependence on any material thing. Charit, should move from one place to another. Mahim, on the earth. Translation: Sri Narada Muni said, a person able to cultivate spiritual knowledge should renounce all material connections, and merely keeping the body inhabitable, he should travel from one place to another, passing only one night in each village. In this way, without dependence in regard to the needs of the body, the sannyasi should travel all over the world. Text 2. Birbhyad yadyaso vasaha. Well, I think I should just chant this one by myself for time. Or do we all chant it? Do we all chant? What? Kopinacha danam param Jakjamna linga dan dadir Anyat kinchid anapadi person in the renounced order of life may try to avoid even dress to cover himself. If he wears anything at all, it should only be a loincloth. And when there is no necessity, a sannyasi should not even accept a danda. A sannyasi should avoid carrying anything but a danda and a kamandalu. Eka eva chared bhikshur atmaramo napashraya sarva bhuta surich chanto naranayan parayana. The sannyasi, completely satisfied in the self, should live on alms begged from door to door, not being dependent on any person or place. He should always be a friendly well-wisher to all living beings and be a peaceful, unalloyed devotee of Narayan. In this way, he should move from one place to another. Text 4. Pashyeda manyado vishvam parisarasto viyaye atmanam cha param brahma sarvatra sad asanmaye. Translation: the sannyasi should always try to see the Supreme pervading everything and see everything, including this universe, resting on the Supreme. Text 5. Supti prabodhayoho sandhav atmano gatim atmadrik pasyan bandham cha moksham cha maya matram na vastutaha. During unconsciousness and consciousness, and between the two, he should try to understand the self and be fully situated in the self. In this way, he should realize that the conditional and liberated stages of life are only illusory and not actually factual. With such a higher understanding, he should see only the absolute truth pervading everything. Purport by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. The unconscious state is nothing but ignorance, darkness, or material existence. In the conscious state, one is awake. The marginal state between consciousness and unconsciousness has no permanent existence. Therefore, one who is advanced in understanding the self should understand that unconsciousness and consciousness are but illusions, for they fundamentally do not exist. Only the Supreme Absolute Truth exists, as confirmed by the Lord in Bhagavad Gita 9:4. Maya tatam idam sarvam jagadanyakta murtina mat stani sarva bhutani nachaham teshva avashtita. By me, in my unmanifest form, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. Everything exists on the basis of Krishna's impersonal feature. Nothing can exist without Krishna. Therefore, the advanced devotee of Krishna can see the Lord everywhere without illusion. Om Gyantamarindasya Gnanjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmaditam Dena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Shtapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupakadamayam Dadanti Swapadantikam. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopeka Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radha Brindavaneshwari Brishabhanustute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
हरे कृष्णा। ये क्लास का हिंदी अनुवाद क्लास मंदिर कक्षा के बाहर हो रहा है। जिनको हिंदी में सुना है बाहर सुन सकते हैं।
So, again, verse 1. Sri Narada Muni said, a person able to cultivate spiritual knowledge should renounce all material connections, and merely keeping the body inhabitable, he should travel from one place to another, passing only one night in each village. In this way, without dependence in regard to the needs of the body, the sannyasi should travel all over the world. So, a person who is able to cultivate spiritual knowledge. So that means all of us. All of us are here because we're able to cultivate some spiritual knowledge. Some of us may be better than others. That's okay. But at least we're all able to cultivate spiritual knowledge, aren't we? And it's becoming enlivening to us to cultivate this spiritual knowledge. That's why we come here. We come here to get this taste of spiritual knowledge. So this applies to all of us. You see, there are many people who are not able to cultivate spiritual knowledge. So they go on about their lives in a different way than you do. They may be out doing something else right now. Maybe they're taking their breakfast or opening a shop or doing some business. They're not here like you are. They're not able to cultivate spiritual knowledge. So you're very fortunate. You're not, I like to tell people, whenever I see devotees, I like to remind them that you're not ordinary men. You're extraordinary men. Why? Because you're here and you're chanting the holy name. This makes you very unusual. You're not a common person, you see. You're chanting the holy name and you're cultivating spiritual knowledge. So this applies to all of us here, huh? And so at some point in the 50s, around age 50, sometimes that's a little difficult, but in the 50s, between age 50 and age 60, we should renounce everything and simply take Vanaprast, and that can manifest in different ways. For some people, they will take Vanaprast and they will simply travel and preach. For some people, they will take Vanaprast with their wife together. They will be home, and maybe the wife and husband will travel and preach together. You see? Maybe they'll go and visit so many different temples and go on pilgrimage. Perhaps see every Rath Yatra, you see, and travel like that. So long as their bodies will allow them to travel, they continue to travel. So there's different ways of this Vanaprast, but the point is, there comes a point in your life when you should accept the order of renounced order. You should. You deserve that. You've worked hard all your life, you see. And you should plan for that. You should look forward to it. I'm going to work my life. I'm going to live a good life. I'm going to set an example for everyone else in the way that I raise my family. Or if you're a brahmachari, you'd be an exemplary brahmachari, you see. And at some point, we're going to let it all go. No more business life. So you have to plan for that. You have to make some financial plan so that you'll have some way, you and your wife, to continue on without working, without having some business. See? And in that final chapter of your life, that's the best part of your life. That's when it really gets sweet. Now the hard-working, raising children, whatever it is that you go through, business life, that's all behind you. And now all of the knowledge that you've cultivated through your devotional life, now all of that fructifies. It's like when mango season comes. You see? All of a sudden the mangoes are ripe. They have fructified. And now they're sweet. And you can take them like that. So your life is like that. It's like a ripened mango at the time that you're able to take Vanaprastha. It's the sweetest tasting part of your life. It's what you should look forward to. It's the end to a good story. Your life should be like a good story, and this Vanaprastha, renounced order of life, is the end to that good story. You see? We shouldn't just wait and see what happens. We shouldn't just see, I'll work, and I'll see what my life has. We don't want to do that. You should know. You should have some idea. As I say many times when I travel around, what we one of the things that we say when we're in business is you plan your work. And then you work your plan. Your life is no different. Is your life important? Is it? Is your life important? It's important to you, huh? So then let's respect it. Plan it. Make some plan. Now, Krishna may have a different plan, or Krishna may like your plan, and he may enhance your plan. So we're ready to go with Krishna's plan if he has a different plan, but let's have a plan, and let's work that plan. And part of that plan should be the ending. How do I end? This life will end. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. If you haven't figured it out yet, I'm here to tell you, this life will end. Be ready for it. It's not bad. It's only as bad as you make it. You see? But it can be really sweet if you plan for it. Plan in the end to preach as much as you possibly can in whatever capacity that you have. You see? Traveling from one place to another, sometimes the man will leave home and he'll just travel one place to another, you see, spreading what he has accumulated in spiritual knowledge, spreading it to everyone. He's accumulated for many years chanting and hearing, doing some preaching. The Grihastha can preach, but there's limitations, you see. Mostly the Grihastha, their preaching is in assisting the preachers. The Grihasthas earn money and they tithe. They give some offering, some money to the temple, and they assist the preachers. And they do what preaching themselves that they can. And so at the end, now you have time. You have time at the end of your life. So Krishna says, time I am, right? So you have time, that means you have Krishna. It's not the time that you just go someplace and sit. Sometimes I see people, they retire, and they just go someplace and they sit. And they sit. And then later they'll sit some more. So this type of thing will shorten your life if all you have to do is sit and maybe play with some grandchildren. This is not enough to keep you living, okay? To stay alive, even in the material world, this knowledge is known. To stay alive, you have to have a mission. You have to have a driving force, a reason not to sit, okay? A reason to get up and do something, talk to someone. Throughout your life, if you've lived a good Krishna conscious life, you've accumulated a vast amount of wonderful, valuable knowledge. Distribute that to whoever may need it. And people will need it. Krishna will send people to you to give you some assistance. If you're going to take disciples in this time of life, this is the time that you will do it. It's very difficult when you're involved in a business and you're working 12 hours a day with some long commute. Many people in India have a 2-hour commute. 2 hours to get to work, 2 hours to get back, 10 hours, 8, 10, 12 hours at work. Who has time for very much, huh? So, but you have time. So at that time of your life, you may accept disciples. If you're going to, that's the time. So you're distributing this knowledge, whether you take disciples or not. Because people know that you're experienced in your life, they will come and seek out your advice. That's just natural. But you have time. It's not a nuisance. It's a nuisance if you're busy. If someone says, oh, Prabhu, can I ask you your advice? And you say, well, but I have to be at the office, and it's a 2-hour commute. Maybe we can talk tomorrow. No, tomorrow's too busy. Maybe, I don't know, but we'll see. I'll try. See, this is your life before retirement. The Vanaprastha has sometimes a very busy life like that. Now, after you've taken the renounced order of life, you're in the Vanaprastha part of your life, you can use this wonderful time that you have and not just sit. If you're sitting, you'll be reading or chanting. You'll be preparing to preach. You're either preparing to preach or preaching. You see? So therefore Vanaprastha is the most wonderful time. Vanaprastha and sannyas, the most wonderful time. The end of your story is going to be a happy ending. But you need to plan for it. You need to help it. Okay? So text 2. A person in the renounced order of life may try to avoid even dress to cover himself. If he wears anything at all, it should only be a loincloth. And when there is no necessity, a sannyasi should not even accept a danda. A sannyasi should avoid carrying anything but a danda and a kamandalo. So, this is very interesting. We should realize when we're in grihastha life especially, society makes big demands on what kind of cloth you wear. If you're a businessman, you need to look like a businessman. If you show up in the office wearing nothing but a loincloth, that is not going to work in your favor. You see? You have to have nicely clean cloth. It has to be fitting the position that you have. There are these demands, okay? For the grihastha, even just going out in public requires some nice dress. So, but as we take the renounced order, there's very few requirements. In this age, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta wanted those in the renounced order to not just wear loincloth, but to maybe take a piece of cloth and just wrap it around. It's like lungi, you see. The dhoti is a very functional dress. It helps keep you warm. It looks very nice. It can look very fancy. You can see people who are expert in wearing a dhoti many fancy ways. So when you're in grihastha life, this is very nice. It's very nice, very attractive. But in the renounced order, you just take a piece of cloth, you wrap it around. That's all, just a piece of cloth. And because society, as we move around, society now requires some covering in the upper body, we'll wear kurta or something, you see. But basically, just a piece of cloth around the lower part of the body and something on the top. Simple. simple. Keep it simple. In text 3, it says the sannyasi, completely satisfied in the self, should live on the alms begged from door to door, not being dependent on any person or place. He should always be friendly, a friendly well-wisher to all living beings, and be a peaceful, unalloyed devotee of Narayan. In this way, he should move from one place to another. The sannyasi should be satisfied in the self, self-satisfied. You're not looking anymore for what you are trying to accomplish. You've already accomplished it. When you're in your grihastha years, you're trying to accomplish some business income. You're trying to accomplish a residence, a place to live. You're trying to accomplish, in younger age, some education so that you can get some career. There's so many things. And you're not satisfied because there's so many things that you're trying to get, you see. You're hankering for so many things, and you're trying, and they're taking your time. They're pulling you along. In the renounced order, when you retire, this all stops, you see. Now you can concentrate on the true self, the real you. Of course, you've been thinking about the real you all through your devotional life, but now you have to focus on I am a part and parcel of Krishna. I exist to please Guru and Krishna. This is the reason for my existence. I have no other reason to exist other than to please Guru and Krishna. So that is, myself is servant of Krishna as his part and parcel. He has empowered me to please him. Krishna wants your love. That's all he wants. So he's empowered you to love. You're empowered directly by the source of love to love on this highest level. This is you. This is yourself. You should realize that. If you're empowered to love the Supreme, you're empowered to love everyone. You are an empowered lover. In the retirement, renounced part of your life, now you have time to let this love out, to let it loose. You don't have anything else that's pulling you here or there. As you move about, you're constantly thinking of your love for Krishna. That will force you to constantly think of your love for all other living entities, not just the human beings, all other living entities. So it's necessary for the sannyasi and the vanaprastha as they move about to be a friendly well-wisher to all living beings. You be a friendly well-wisher to everyone. When you're in grihastha life, when you're in business life, you may have some competitors, isn't it? You have to compete. In the renounced order, when you're retired, there's no more competition. You're not anyone's competitor. If someone wants to compete, you say, okay, have it your way. Just let me tell you about Krishna. Let's talk about Krishna. Let's talk about you. Let's talk about your plans for your life. Let's talk about your plans for your future and your spiritual future. You see, that I'm not your competitor. I'm your advocate. I'm not here to compete. I'm here to help you. I am your helper, not your competitor. You see? So you can see the change of personality, isn't it? When you retire, it should be different like that. Peaceful, happy, loving, a friend, well-wisher to everyone, all living entities. You have the time to do it. And you have the training to do it because you've lived a good life as a devotee. You see? Text 4, the sannyasi should always try to see the Supreme pervading everything and see everything, including this universe, resting on the Supreme. So we should see that. We should see Krishna in everything. You have time. Time is very precious. And when you retire, you have lots of it. So you can see, and you have the time to focus. It's like I've said before, let's say if you're leaving your house and you get out, let's say you're a student and you're going to class, and you get halfway down the hallway after you've locked the door, but you remember, I need to get my book. I need this book for my class. So, when you have this remembering, who is that? That's Krishna. Krishna says, I am remembrance. So when you remember, you should say, thank you, Krishna. Now you have time to realize that you've always been having a direct relationship with Krishna. Krishna says, I am remembrance. I am forgetfulness. So recognize everything. You can see everything is part and parcel of Krishna. Everything that happens to you all throughout the day is Krishna helping you in your life. Recognize that and be thankful. Say, thank you, Krishna. Say that a lot. You can do that now. You don't have to wait until you retire. But definitely when you have the time to slow down and focus on you, the self, and Krishna, the super self, you should do that. You have time to think more about Krishna. You have time to have a warmer, more personal relationship with the living entities that you come in contact with. There's no hurry. Or at least there shouldn't be. Sometimes there may be a little bit of hurry. Typically, old people don't like to hurry. You know, we've done that. You're young. You have business. You have places to go and people to see. You see, demands. I'm retired. I'm not in a hurry. You see, try not to get in a... Sometimes you will have to hurry if you're catching a plane or something like that. You may have to hurry a little bit, but you don't have to live your life that way anymore. And have an understanding for those around you who do. They have to hurry. That's okay. You do. I don't. Not all the time. So text 5. During unconsciousness and consciousness, and between the two, we should try to understand the self and be fully situated in the self. In this way, we should realize that the conditional and liberated stages of life are only illusory and not actually factual. With such a higher understanding, we should see only the absolute truth pervading everywhere. As we've been discussing, we should see that. There's nothing but you and Krishna. Earlier in life, you had you that you had to deal with and so many other things. Now, in your retired part of your life, there's just you and Krishna. You should rejoice in that. You've got time to just be friends with Krishna. You're his servant, but you're his friend too. He's your dearmost friend. Why can't you be his friend? Think of him as your friend. He's giving you things, he's helping you to remember. Sometimes he helps you to forget. There are some things that we need to forget. Sometimes we may be treated improperly by someone, or there might have been some suffering in the past. You need to, as they say, let that go. Have you heard people say that? Let it go. But they don't include Krishna. They're wanting you to let it go. I want you to forget it. That's my advice. Why didn't they tell you Krishna is forgetfulness? Use that Krishna's your friend. You need to forget something, you need to let it go, Krishna will help you. He is forgetfulness. When you need to remember, He is that remembrance. He is this desk. He's this microphone. You see? So, now that you have time, now that you've renounced business life, family life, now you have time. This is how we utilize that time. Be with Krishna. You always were with Krishna. Just realize it. Krishna, it's me and you. Every minute. And then you'll realize, wait a minute, we always were together. We always were partners. You were always looking out for me. I just wasn't recognizing it. I didn't have time. I have time now. So I know I've got the time to realize that I have Krishna. You see? Sometimes the pujari may think that before maybe taking up pujari work, we feel that I belong to Krishna. I belong to Krishna. And that's a fact, isn't it? Sometimes when we take up dressing the deities and taking care of the deities, sometimes maybe even on a daily basis, we start to think, Krishna is mine. He's mine. He's come to me in an apparently helpless state. Why? I have to wake him up in the morning. I have to feed him. I have to bathe him. I have to give him a nap midday. Krishna, it's time for your nap. I have to wake him up after his nap, feed him some more, change him into his night clothes in the evening and put him to bed. So Krishna's mine. I remember I was I think it was 1979, I was the head pujari in Dallas, Texas temple, ISKCON Dallas. Radhakalachandji, very famous deities in ISKCON. And so I was their head pujari. And so every morning I woke them up. Every evening I put them to bed, and I did most things during the day, especially during the Christmas marathon. Everyone would go out on Sankirtan, and I would do everything, all of the artis, all of the offerings. And so one day, Tamal Krishna Maharaj, he said to me, we were standing looking at the deities, and he asked me, how do you like being Radhakalachandji's pujari? And I said, I love it very much, Maharaj. I truly do. And he said, I'm glad to hear that you like it. And I said, but I don't know if maybe if I'm getting a little off course in my thinking. Because he said, what is that? What do you think is wrong with your thinking? I said, I see the deities as mine, like my children, you know. And he laughed and he said, that's perfect. You are Krishna's, we know that. But Krishna is also yours. Krishna is yours. Whether you're his pujari or not, he is yours. He says, I am your dearmost friend and ever well-wisher. Shuridam Sarvabhutanam. I am yours. That's what lovers are. I belong to you, you belong to me. It's not a one-sided unilateral relationship. So we have to learn that. And then in the renounced order, in the retired years, we get a chance to bathe in that knowledge and to understand it even further and live every minute of every day thinking like that. So, all right, I should take some time and see if there are any questions. Does anyone have any questions or comments? Or criticisms? You can criticize if you like. When you're retired, you can accept criticism. Anyone? Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji, for wonderful class. My question is, how do you find that love for Krishna, or when you were serving as a deity pujari? So, what helped you developing that love for Krishna, or from where that inspiration came from Prabhupada? And can you tell upon that?
Yeah. First of all, there is no such thing as developing love for Krishna. There's no such thing. You cannot develop love for Krishna because you already have love for Krishna. It's just dormant. It's like in the Western world where it gets cold, Europe, places like that. The green is grass. The grass is very green during the summertime. Very green and beautiful. But when the cold weather comes, it turns brown. It's not dead. It's just dormant. It's there, but it doesn't look like grass anymore. So this love for Krishna that we have is just dormant. You see, Maya is able to give you so many distractions with so many other activities and so many other things to hanker for and lament for that you don't have, that you've forgotten this love for Krishna. Without the help of Maya, you could never stop loving Krishna. But Maya has helped you, so you owe her that debt. She helped you. So, but it's there. We just have to wake it up. So, what makes the grass wake up from this dormant stage? A proper environment. When the sun is shining more and the weather is warmer, now it's a favorable environment to flourish. So how do we awaken our dormant love for Krishna? We have to get ourselves into a favorable environment. Like where you're sitting right now is a favorable environment to awaken your dormant love for Krishna. You have it. You've never lost any of it. See, this is good news. I don't have to go try to get it and try real hard. No, you just put yourself in a favorable environment and take advantage of it. You see, take advantage of the association of these nice devotees. Come and see the deity. Perform loving devotional service, and this love for Krishna will awaken. You may not notice it, because as this love awakens, you're always going to want more and more because it's ever increasing. It continues. In other words, you can't get 100%. You see? It's like if you're filling your gas tank in your motorcycle, you get to a point where it's 100% full. Yeah? You can't take any more. Love for Krishna is not like that. It's ever increasing. So today, if I get all there is to get, in a second from now, 1 second from now, there's even more for me to get. You see? It keeps growing. But you already have it. You just have to keep in a favorable environment. You see? Maximize your existence within this favorable environment. All of these people are trying to awaken their love for Godhead. So you have this in common. You have everything in common. We have to go out into the outside world for so many things. Unfortunately, they're not favorable environment for us. But we can be a favorable environment for them. You see? We don't pick up their ways. We don't start to behave like them. But we take our environment, our favorable environment for love of Godhead, and we give it to them. We bring it to them. We treat them with love and affection. They're parts and parcels of Krishna. And we want to wake them up. Is that a good answer? Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
So, as you said that we are of Krishna and Krishna is ours. So many times what happens that we become sentimental. Like we don't start for means we stop following the rules and regulation that we have got from Prabhupada and all, and we start doing sentimental things. Like we say that out of love we are doing for Krishna. Like when we are offering prasadam to Krishna, then we don't offer the prayers that we have received from the parampara. We sentimentally offer that out of love I am offering to Krishna. Then Krishna will definitely accept it. So, is this correct thing? Like, we have to follow the rules also, na? Like, we don't have to be sentimental.
Yeah, this is a good point. We want to avoid being sentimental. You see, we have to treat Krishna like a friend. We have to treat him like our dearmost friend. When you're offering to Krishna, sometimes people may have a tendency when they're making some offering, they just put it down and they say the prayers as fast as they can because they have to go do something, you know. Slow down. Maybe you have to be very much in a hurry the rest of your day, but for that point, slow it down. Look him in the eye when you're making the offering. Look him in the eye. My dear Lord, please accept this humble offering. And then say the prayer to him while you're looking at him. You see? Same as when you're chanting. When you're chanting Hare Krishna, slow it down. Tap the brakes. You know, if you're going down a hill, if you're in a car or on a motorcycle, you're going down a hill and it starts to getting going faster and faster and faster, you hit the brake. Right? So when you're chanting and you feel yourself getting in a hurry and you're chanting faster and faster and faster, tap the brake, slow it down. Hear it. Listen to it. I tell people all the time, learn to love the sound that you make when you're chanting. It's a very beautiful sound, but you have to kind of listen to it. If you listen to it, you'll make the necessary adjustments for it to sound very pleasing to you. Otherwise, it'll just be a chore that you have to do. You see? I have to do this. I have to get 4 rounds done before I go to work. No, you shouldn't think like that. I want to get 4 rounds done. And I have to. So think like that. Slow it down. Treat Krishna as your friend. Because he is. You see? Everything that we do throughout our day is sweet. Offering food to Krishna is a sweet experience. Chanting Hare Krishna is a sweet experience. Reading Srila Prabhupada's books is a sweet experience. You see? Taking prasadam, that's also a sweet experience. I see some people, it comes time to take prasadam and they eat real fast. That wasn't the example set by Srila Prabhupada. He ate very slowly. Sometimes it would take him 45 minutes to eat his meal because he was associating with his dear friend. Krishna is the prasadam. When you make the offering, Krishna, he eats it by glancing and he becomes the offering. So appreciate that. Whoever cooked for you put some love and affection into it. You should taste that as well as the salt and the hing and whatever, jeera. You're tasting these, but you're tasting the affection that went into it. And you're tasting the affection that Krishna put into it when he produced the vegetable, the fruit. You see? You may not have much time now. Sometimes take some time. Just take it. Don't let the world take your time. Take it yourself. At least at important times. The rest of the day, you're going to have to hurry and do this and do that. You have so many duties that you'll have to do. That's okay. But there's some parts of your life throughout the day that you grab. You own it. I'm taking it. You see? You deserve it. Is that a good answer? Ah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you very much for your beautiful class. Prabhuji, you were explaining in the beginning that how one should take out time for Krishna, and you were explaining that how one should gradually move out to renounced order of life. So generally, whether as a brahmachari or as a grihastha, there are two tendencies which any human being has. One tendency is that if we are doing something in a meticulous way, in a perfect way, we wish to continue that only. We are resistant to change. And second thing is, we always think that no, it's not enough. I have to do more. I have to do more. I have to do more. So that's why whether you talk about any ashrams, that makes renunciation difficult. So when I talk about brahmachari life, to change service, any service, one service suppose we are doing meticulously, to change it becomes difficult. To leave that service, try something new, we become little resistant. Another thing is we feel that no, I could have done more perfectly. I can focus more on this. At the same time, there may be a call, the authority may be wanting us to shift to any other new service. So in such situation, Prabhuji, how do you say it, whether for a grihastha or a brahmachari, that how he can leave things and move on, overcome these tendencies?
Well, one important thing that will help you is you have to make a plan. You have to know that I'm going to do this. I'm going to change. What you were saying is that you're doing some service meticulously. You're trying to, well, you're always going to do whatever you do meticulously, aren't you? If you're that kind of person, some people aren't able. What is that music? Huh? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay. It's a little distracting, but it just makes us concentrate more, doesn't it? So yeah, so if you're that kind of person that does things meticulously, you'll do whatever you do meticulously. Some people don't have that gift. They're not able to be meticulous in what they're doing. They may not notice the finer points of what they're doing. But if you're that kind of person, that in this service you're meticulous and in that service, and so you'll be meticulous in your retired life as well, because that's who and what you are. Other people may have to learn it, but you don't. You're meticulous. Maybe when you're meticulous, sometimes people may even criticize you because you're so meticulous. You know? Because they're not. They don't have that ability. So they may criticize. That's okay. That's all right. So when you change your service later on, you'll still be meticulous at that because that's what you do. You won't be able to be anything else. That's just what you are. That's the type of person that you are. And that's good. That's very good. I can see that my godbrothers that took sannyas, we haven't had many vanaprasts yet. You know, I was one of the first. I wasn't the first, but I was one of. And so I think there are many others. But I noticed that when people get into the retired life, especially my sannyasi godbrothers, they got more and more meticulous. You see? Why? They have time to be meticulous. You can see the way they dress themselves because they're preaching. They have to make an image. You see, when they show up someplace, they can't be disheveled, and because we're preaching. The Vanaprasts, he's a Vanachari. He lives in the forest. But Prabhupada said for us in our ISKCON, the forest is the city, because we don't go to the forest. We go to the city and preach. That means you can't go to the city wearing tree bark. Okay? This is just logic. Otherwise, who's going to listen to your preaching? You may talk about Krishna and they'll say, what do you know? You're wearing tree bark. You see? No respect. So, we have to adapt that. And our desire to serve Guru and Krishna will make us more and more meticulous. You see? And we adapt according to the demands of time, place, and circumstance. If we're not in the city, we may just wrap up in a gamsha. You see? I've seen some of my sannyasi godbrothers, and when they were just in Vrindavan, they're not traveling, they're just in Vrindavan, and they may be walking out, in front of the MVT, and they're just wearing a gamsha. You see, it doesn't matter to us, but it matters and enhances our service. We put on a simple piece of cloth and we make it look nice, so that when you speak, people will say, oh, I think you might know what you're talking about. It's just to enhance our ability to do our service of preaching. Otherwise, what do we need for anything? We don't need anything. It's one advantage of the retired life. You don't need anything. You've accumulated everything that you need. You've experienced everything, and you've realized that everything is pretty much useless. There's certain things that you have that you might need. Does that answer your question? Good question. Good thinking. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, as you told that while we chant, we should hear. The sound is very sweet. But when we are engaged in a lot of services or in other things, and the mind goes to those services, so how to actually hearing the sound becomes difficult.
The hearing will keep your mind from wandering. The reason why the mind wanders is because we get some humdrum melody that we're chanting. It's usually just as Prabhupada said, snick, snick, snay, snay. You hear people, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, and it's very nice, but then you'll hear them, they'll get in a hurry, and they're, Hare Krishna, sometimes they'll say like 5 Rams, Hare Ram, 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 Ram. It means their mind has walked out the ear. The mind it was here, but it's over there. Ram, 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 or they're falling asleep. You see? No, develop a way of chanting. You sit down with you and your beads and chant in such a way that you think, oh, that sounds good. I like that. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Sing it a little bit if you have to. Just do whatever it takes for you to realize how beautiful it sounds. You can make that beautiful sound. It may not be beautiful to him. It doesn't matter. It's beautiful to you. And as you hear that, it helps keep the mind from wandering. It'll still try to wander. But as you chant and listen like that, Mayapur is an easy place to get into that mood where you're just chanting and appreciating that sound. There's something magical about it. You can do it anywhere, but there's something, it's easier in Mayapur, you see. So develop that, work on that. Make it an art, your art. for you. You don't have to share it with anybody else. It's for you. It's by you and for you, and it's an offering of love to Krishna. Because as you're chanting that melody, that mantra again and again, and it's so pleasing to you, do you think it's pleasing to Krishna? Do you think Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda aren't saying, oh, listen, oh, that is so nice? So we have to take it more and more seriously. And we will. As time goes by, we will take chanting more and more seriously. We'll perfect it. It'll get, you see. But don't let yourself just, yeah, you have to do that. Is that good? Matajis, do any Matajis have a question? No? Anyone else?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
He was going to go first, and then you can go second. How's that? Or maybe you can arm wrestle.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, can you please share some intimate association with Srila Prabhupada that you have?
I didn't have much one-on-one association with Prabhupada. I was there, but I was a little off to the side or in the background. You see, I wasn't. The intimate association that I had with Prabhupada was personal. Intimate association was in Mayapur. I cheated and pretended to be a photographer to go on morning walk. I wasn't supposed to, but I wanted to. It was 1976, and Prabhupada was there, and I wanted. They told us don't, it's only for those who are invited. But I thought, well, if I pretend to be a photographer, and Prabhupada knew I wasn't a photographer, because I had some little teeny camera, little tiny. Typically the photographers, they have big cameras, So Prabhupada, he looked at my camera, he could tell. But he gave me a nice, beautiful pose. And so then I walked. I got to go on morning walk every day for about a month. And Prabhupada, everybody knew that I wasn't a photographer, and Prabhupada sometimes would look at me like, what a rascal. You were told not to do this, but yet here you are. And he would smile, he would grin. He thought, this is okay. This is good. Tamal Krishna Maharaj told me that the mercy is for the bold. You have to be bold. We want it. It's like the Mahaprasadam. If you're bold, you'll get it. If you're not, everyone else will get it. And as far as other intimate association, I can feel Prabhupada's presence most of the time, almost all of the time, when I'm preaching. Because what can I say without his words? Any spiritual knowledge that I have, I've gotten from his words, from his books. If you want something to say, you have to read. If you don't read, you have nothing to say. And if you say without reading, you're just giving nonsense, speculative nonsense. So if you're going to talk, and everybody wants to talk, then you should read. So everybody should read. And if you don't read, don't talk. You see? So intimacy with Prabhupada is there for anyone who reads his books. Now that is an absolute fact. If you want close, intimate association with Prabhupada, read his books. And watch his classes if you can see, hear a recorded class. Reading is very important. It's the most important. If you don't read Prabhupada's books, you're just an imbecile. You know? Or as they say in German, you're a Dummkopf, which means you're a dummy. You're an idiot because you're speaking nonsense. Sense is in Prabhupada's books. Nonsense is everything else that's said. You see. Always remember where we are. We're in this material world, this illusory material world. Everything here is Maya. Everything here is illusory. Everything here is nonsense. And then you come across these words of Prabhupada's in his books. And now for the first time since you came to this material world, you're actually getting knowledge. You're actually experiencing reality. You're seeing through the illusion. That's very intimate of Prabhupada. He's very intimate with you. So, better than walking with Prabhupada, better than aiding him, is reading his books. And all the people who served Prabhupada directly will tell you the same thing. Bapu is nice. It's wonderful. Vani is even better.
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Okay, I think it's your turn. And how much time do we have? Should we wrap it up after this? Huh? Last question? Okay. You're the last guy. That's an honor. See, we saved the best for last.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, how to develop a fearless attitude while preaching, especially while distributing books? Personally, I feel very much hesitation while distributing books, and I'm afraid of that the other person will ask some typical question and I won't be able to answer that. So, how can I be confident while?
You have to realize that Krishna is always with you. You cannot get away from Krishna. We came to this material world to get away from Krishna, to enjoy separately from him, but that's not even possible. You see, so Krishna is always with you. He is your dearmost friend. So, as we practice devotional service, one of the things that, there's some things that you will lose, that will go away. One of them is loneliness. You'll never be lonely. You see? I mean, I know what loneliness is, but it's been so long that I don't remember what it tastes like. I don't know what it feels like to be lonely. I know what it is, but I don't know the feeling. Fear is the same way. I know what it is. I can define it, but I don't remember what it feels like. It's been so long. So the devotee becomes fearless by performing loving devotional service. And sometimes you may ask Krishna, please help me, Krishna. You know? It means that you don't have the full confidence yet, full conviction. When you get completely convinced yourself, then you become convincing. You see, when you're convinced, you can convince others. When you're partially or almost fully convinced, then you can almost convince others all the time. When you're fully convinced, there's no fear. You see? And what is there to fear? If I'm distributing a book to someone and he says, well, I just think you're a fool. You just say, yeah, I am, but I'm Prabhupada's fool. I'm your fool. I'm here to help you. My dear sir, You can even receive help from an absolute fool if you take this book, because this will tell you everything you need to know to deal with death. And only a real fool will not prepare to deal with death. You see what I mean? So if they want to belittle you, if they want to laugh at you, it's okay. What do I care? Krishna's behind you, patting you on the back. Go get him. Go get him. I'm here. Don't worry. I'm here. And if we have to, if they get really heavy with you, if we have to, we'll bring in Lord Nrsingadev and he'll finish them off. Okay? So be fearless. You've got nothing to fear, because you're a devotee of Krishna. You've got nothing to fear. And that's such a good feeling to realize that you no longer have fear. Okay? All right. I think I've overstayed my welcome. Thank you all so very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So we'd like to thank His Grace Jeevanand Prabhuji for kindly taking out his time and giving his very precious association, answering so many questions in such wonderful way. I'd like to thank him by one time loudly chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhu.
His Grace Jeevanand Prabhuji ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.